So I'd like to talk about how you can make a solution from a stock solution. So if you have a solution that's already full strength or more concentrated than you needed, how can you calculate to dilute it down to make the solution of the concentration you need? And so for that, there's an equation. Molarity to begin with times volume to begin with has to equal the molarity at the end times the volume at the end. These two things are related to each other. Because remember, molarity is moles per liter. And so molarity times volume gives you just the moles. So again, this is a relationship where we're going to say, well, how many moles are in my final solution? And so what volume of the starting solution do I need to get that many moles? And then add water the rest of the way. So, a concrete example. Let's say I need to make a 0.5 molar HCl solution. From stock, and the full strength is typically 12 molar. Let's give ourselves enough sig figs here. 12.0 molar. Okay. So the question is, what volume of the 12 molar do I need to make a half molar solution, and how much do I want? Maybe I want a half a liter. So I need to know the final volume and the final concentration, these two guys, and the concentration what I'm starting with. And then it's just a question of calculating, well, how much of that starting solution do I take and then dilute down to a final volume? So here's what I just plug everything in that I have. I have a 12.0 molar solution, so that's moles per liter, times how much I need to take of that. That's what I need to solve for. If I want to end up with a 0.500 mole per liter solution, and I want 500 milliliters, or a half a liter of that. So my liters cancel. 0.5 times 0.5. All right, 5 times 5 is 25, but I got 2 decimal places, so always double check your math. Always double check your math. So now I need to bring this over here to solve for x, do a little bit of algebra. So I end up dividing the 12 over here. Moles cancel. Liter's going to come all the way up to the top. And so 0.25 divided by 12. The volume I'm looking for is 0.021 liters. Okay. So what do I do with that number? I'm going to take 21 milliliters of this solution, of this original stock solution, and dilute it up to 500 milliliters with water. Of course, if we're diluting an acid, you always do what you oughta. You add the acid to the water. So the procedure for this if I have a volumetric flask and one that has the mark, it's calibrated just for a half a liter. I'm going to fill it partially with distilled water, then add my 21 milliliters of concentrated hydrochloric acid, and then add the distilled water, so put in some distilled water first, partially fill the flask, add the 21 milliliters of the full strength acid, and then add the rest of the volume of the water. And that's how I would make the solution, by diluting it down. And again, you always add the acid to water, because as you dilute down an acid, it's an exothermic process. It gives off heat. The more water you mix it into to begin with, the more that water that's already there can absorb the heat, and you won't get a hot flask or any dangerous situation. All right, so hopefully that helps. Remember, M1V1 equals M2V2. The concentration that you're starting with, you need to figure out what volume of that you need to take so that you can end up with a volume of solution you want of a concentration you want, which is more dilute. All right, good luck in calculating out dilution solution stoichiometry.